Thursday afternoon, everybody. Welcome back down to my library, and probably haven't seen this corner in quite some time. Well, today I get to talk about my most recent Stephen King read, and that is Hearts in Atlantis. So, this is a 5 novella collection that interweaves the Vietnam War. And this is heavily influenced on The Dark Tower, I think, like in the later books. So, right off the bat, this was just okay to me. And on the back, it says, innocence, experience, truth, deceit, loss, and recovery are at the core of these 5 interconnected sequential tales, each deeply rooted in the 1960s and each scarred by the Vietnam War, which continues to cast its shadow over American lives, politics, and culture. So yeah, a lot of this book is set place in like the 60s, but in like the later novellas, they are taking place in like the 80s and 90s. So the first story here is called Low Men and Yellow Coats, and this is about a young boy by the name of Bobby. Yeah, Bobby is his name. And he befriends an older gentleman by the name of Ted Brautigan. And they like essentially become best buds. So Brautigan is from the Dark Tower universe or whatever, and he is basically like a guardian of the Low Men in Yellow Coats or something. That story was kind of up in the air, and I felt like a lot I felt like a lot wasn't even answered in this story, making you want to read into the Dark Tower. So, that story alone is like half of this book. That's Low Men in Yellow Coats. So, it was okay. I just wanted a little bit more. But the title story, Hearts in Atlantis, was all about a card game played on campus by college friends. And they're just like reminiscing about going into Vietnam and going through the culture of the 60s. So I found that one to be a little bit more developed. There it is. And it was a pretty decent story. Blind Willie, which is the third story in here, I believe. Here it is. Yeah, it says Blind Willie and Why We're in Vietnam is interconnected with the first story because these two characters grew up with Bobby in the 60s. And Blind Willie was like in a helicopter crash, and he like sees into the future, I believe. Why We're in Vietnam is just the bully that messed with Bobby in the first story. A lot of this is so over my head, I can't even remember what even happened in here. But anyway, why we're in Vietnam is this dude's story, and Heavenly Shades of Night Are Falling brings back Bobby, and it completes his story. So, yeah. I feel like I needed to like read a little bit more into the Dark Tower to like understand this. So I can't really tell you much of anything that actually went on to like connect to the Dark Tower, because I haven't read it all. But I gave this book 3 stars. Once I get deeper into the Dark Tower and I kind of remember this, I might enjoy it more. But I felt that this was nearly 700 pages of underdeveloped storytelling. Well, it's going to be a different experience when you go through the Dark Tower, but this book was just okay to me. Those are my scatterbrained thoughts on Hearts in Atlantis. So, next on the docket for Stephen King is going to be The Wastelands, Dark Tower number 3. And I have no idea when I'm going to like read this, but I do want to read it before the end of this year. But I have like quite a few special reading plans coming up in September, October, and November. So December is probably the month to do it. But this is literally just over 600 pages. And I heard from a lot of people that this one might be their favorite. I'm very much looking forward to getting back into the Dark Tower. Been a while, because I read Drawing of the Three last December. And to essentially take a year break from it, it's kind of I mean, I have many other books that I need to prioritize before this, but I'm not one of them guys that like reads 5 of these in like 2 months. How can he even do that? But that is next on the docket, and basically what I thought about Hearts in Atlantis. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know Stephen King nerds are going to come after me, but whatever. But that's all I got for now. Tomorrow I'm going to go see The Crow, and I'll definitely have my thoughts on that, but the original and the graphic novel. Didn't watch any of the sequels because I really don't care to watch them. But on Saturday, also, I plan on seeing Blink Twice and a movie called Strange Darling. I'll definitely get some reviews out for those 2 as well. So, far from the end of the month, I still have some content to put out. But that's all I got for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Adios. Peace.